Hi.
Uh, Hi. So last time we spoke was a few weeks before the first season premiere, and back then you didn't know if there were going to be a second season at all. And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you obviously have a lot to live up to in terms of expectations this time around that maybe weren't there before the first time. From now, you have a lot of fans for this particular show. What do you mostly want people to get to see this time around that they didn't
Yeah.
get to see the first time?
Yeah. I mean, my nerves are 10 times worse than it was for season one. I was so pleased with season one, and it took a lot for me to think we should do it again because it was good. Sometimes you just want to leave something good and move on.
Yeah.
This season is 100 times bigger. We did so much crazy stuff. I mean, we traveled to Iceland and Berlin. I played 5 Cassies. There's a lot of things that happen this season that are even bigger than season one. And so I hope that people like it as much as they did season one. I'm definitely nervous. We went in a little bit of a different direction. We didn't have the book this time. So this was all of
Yeah.
our original stories. And I just hope that I think season one, it was important to get the audience on Cassie's side, that so she can make bad choices and people still want her, they're still rooting for her and they're like, oh my God, get this girl shit together.
Yeah.
And same for this season, she's turned over a new leaf and she's trying to live a sober life. And we just learned very quickly that that is not working for her.
Yeah. So I've seen the first 6 episodes of this season, and I really loved the fifth and the sixth episode. But I was wondering how you went about thinking about how to balance the show, because there is a lot of funny moments, and then there are these really tougher ones as well, and how
Yes.
you decided on where to put those.
It's a constant question. It was crazy when I would shoot certain scenes. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do this one like Lucille Ball. I'm going to just be over the top. And then I would do the next take and I'd be like, I'm going to cry and like lose my mind, because we never knew. It was such a puzzle piece. Our
Yeah.
tone has been very unique from the beginning. It's also been a challenge, but it's what's kind of set us apart, I feel like. And so it just was constantly unsure of what emotion it was going to be. I was always the advocate of, when things started to get too dark, like in editing, I'd be like, you got to throw in something funny. Like, we've got to remember we are comedic at the end of the day. And life, when life gets dark, that is when things get the funniest. You have to laugh at yourself. And so I was constantly the one like, nope, put in something funny, put in a comedic moment, put some lighter music, even music tone
Yeah.
changes the whole scene. So it was definitely just like it was a challenge in season one. It was still a challenge, but we did it, I think, bigger and better.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, and I wish you all the best with the premiere, and I
Thank
hope for more
you.
seasons as well.
Oh, calm down, sir. Thank you.
Bye. Sweden.
Hi, man. How you doing?
Hi.
Hi. So I watched the first 6 episodes of this season, and really loving it so far. I wanted to know how you guys felt going in from the first season, and what you were expecting to get out of the third season now, and if that lived up to your expectations. Second, yeah, second.
I like where your head's at, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, after our first season, we kind of had no idea where they were going to take us in season two. So it was a really exciting surprise to see that I think the second season is bigger and louder in all ways. We go a little bit deeper with all of the characters. So I think it's more layered from a personal level, but there's more explosions, there's more car chases. It's sort of bigger on every scale. So that was pretty exciting. And I think each and every one of the characters is just on a little bit of a more intense personal path. I think Annie and Max are certainly going deeper within themselves and within their relationship. Cassie is obviously dealing with a whole ton with her sobriety and this new mystery and her new job. So yeah, I don't know, it just sort of felt like more in every way, which was really fun to play with.
Yeah, it was nice to having this first season be such a bang. Which is a good problem to be like, well, where do they go from here? I was pleasantly surprised to the more mysteries and the delving into really the characters that we grew to love in the first season.
Yeah, for sure. So the scenery is changed from being set in New York and a bit in Bangkok during the first season. Now we're on in LA, and you guys get to spend time there too. I don't know if it was actually shot there, but how was that, switching it up, not only with going deeper in the characters, but doing this whole new kind of setting it all in a new different place as well?
I think it was great to come to LA. I think they really did a lot of they did a good job of showing some of the sunnier side to LA and the beauty of LA, while delving into the murder and mystery at the same time. Yeah. But it was fun. I actually live in LA, so it was kind of fun to bring Z into the madness that is LA, and some of the Annie and Max competitions over New York and LA were quite very real and very genuine.
Yeah,
very true. They were. It was also really fun. I think it is always tricky when you have a really successful first season, which is always great to be like, okay, how do we one up ourselves in the next season? And I think switching the scenery innately just gives you a new geographically things to play with. And so I think it sort of gave all of us a bit of a reset where we were like, all right, we're not trying to recapture the lightning in a bottle that we did in season 1. We have this totally new landscape that we are delving into. And that was super fun.
Yeah, so we only have a little bit of time left, but I'm guessing you're hoping for a third season as well. Is there anything you've talked about?
We've talked more about spin-offs silly than anything else. I think the powers of be that decide the third season, whether, I don't know. But the more spin-off ideas of all the different characters. There's so many storylines in this show.
Yeah,
you could have an individual series about each and every one of them.
We talk a lot about spin-offs. Deniz and I have come up with a Christmas movie.
Yeah, there's a Christmas
spin-off.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
I mean, you shoot late nights and the ideas just start rolling. Yeah. Whether they're good or not, I don't know. But
we should have written down a lot more than we did.
We really should.
It's just gone.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
and best of luck with the premiere.
Thank you so much. See you, mate.
Pleasure to be able to speak to you guys. Hi. So I've seen the first 6 episodes of the second season, and your characters are really different from each other, and could basically be like the main characters of their own spin-off movies or shows or whatever, because there's really a lot to go over with one of your characters. So, but I wanted to know what each one of you finds likes the most about your character in this show.
What I like the most, I think I like that Grace is genuinely trying to connect with Cassie, and that there's a real friendship there and a chemistry there, even though all of the secrets in Grace's life and Cassie's life get in the way of that. I think there's a good heart there, even though there's a lot of secrets. I don't know. Yeah, you've seen 6 episodes. I think there's even more to come.
More coming, yeah.
I think I like Shane navigating 2 different realities. There's a reality of Shane's friendship with Cassie, and then there's a reality of Shane has a life that isn't about her. And so I like that there's a moment coming, I think, later in the season where Shane has to hold the line for his own life. so much of season 1 is Shane and Cassie sort of being light and fluffy with each other and funny. And then I think as Cassie's journey this season, she's really struggling with her sobriety. I think that Shane has to pull rank professionally and inside of their friendship to go, I also have a life, that needs attention. And so I like that the writers gave us some more meat to chew on this season inside of our friendship and trying to really create some real stakes for their friendship.
Yeah.
For Megan, it's a little different. Once again, Megan's on the outside of the story and she's on her own path. And I think that the theme for Megan this season is accountability. Of taking accountability of her actions and of her life and where she wants it to go. And her main focus is just making it right with her family first and foremost, and then making it right with others. And so, it was a huge emotional roller coaster once again for Megan.
Yeah. So May, you joined in on this season. How did you see the first one? Did you watch it when it came out, or did you become a viewer as you joined this series? Did your homework, so to say?
I feel like I was hooked from when I saw the trailer for season 1. It was like, oh, this is gonna be great. This has everything I love. It's funny, it's dramatic, Kaley's amazing, and then I binged it with everyone else. And then when it came along, I was so excited to be part of that world, and that tone is so unique. And the team behind it's so great. Yeah. I watched it with my mom.
All right. So I'm really looking forward for everyone else to get to see this season, and I wish you all the best with the premiere. Thanks a lot for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Hi guys, this is Jonathan writing for MovieZine Sweden. I've watched the first a little bit more than half of this second season, and really love what I've seen so far. So really nice to see your new characters being introduced in this season. So my first question is, how did you guys go into this season? How much did you watch the entire first season beforehand, or were you a fan before you came on board, and so on?
Ladies first.
We'll go ladies first.
Go ahead. I'm going last.
Okay. Mo, you want to go?
I'll go first. First of all, nice to meet you, Jonathan. For me, I was actually a fan of the first season. I thought it was like one of the most interesting shows on TV. The way they handled the complex tone between the serious stuff and the humor and the murder mystery. So I was already a fan. Then had the opportunity to meet Caley and the rest of the team to join the cast. I was just super excited about it.
Yeah.
Myself, I can't say I was a fan off the bat, but obviously researching and checking out the show before doing it, got really even more excited. I knew the show had a lot of heat behind it from all the awards and everything, and had just did really well. And when I watched the show, I was like, oh, I see why. It's awesome. So this season is just, not to let's jump ahead or anything, but it got me really excited about this, to work on this season.
Yeah, same. I was really excited to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form, and was really excited about the dark comedy aspects of it. The show looks beautiful and the writing's great, and I was really excited.
Yeah, and Mo, you got a lot of scenes with Caley during this season, and I was wondering how you guys did those scenes, how that was for you.
Doing the scenes with Caley was great. She's been in the industry for a very long time. So she's at this point where she just has everything dialed in and readily accessible to perform And then even off camera, she's just really cool and charismatic and likes to keep the energy high. So I felt like that worked really well for our scenes, because a lot of who she is as a person is kind of, she infuses the character with that. And so my character is like constantly trying not to get caught up in all her energy, which is hard not to do for me as an actor and for my character Benjamin on the show. So I think it all just worked really beautifully, like a natural chemistry we had.
Yeah, and the other two of you guys, you have like the most hilarious storyline in this show so far. I feel like. So how was that? Did you get to develop those characters at all by yourselves, or was it strictly like you had to do what was on the page?
Well, for ourselves, I mean, we the backstory that we created is where we put the most of our like creativity, just creating that bond. I mean, we had a natural chemistry off the rip, you know, and I think it just went from there.
I mean, JJ and I read together, and we both were like, yeah, it worked. And I really was so grateful to have JJ. You know, we were a team throughout the whole thing, and that marriage and that relationship just had to feel real. And I don't know, we just had some weird, freaky bond that
we have a weird chemistry period.
It's really weird. We're buds for sure, and I think that was pretty. But everything was like written on the page. We didn't have any like Marianne, who did all the costumes. Like that was her vision. You know, it was written like we're just two insane psycho. You know, whatever. You know, insane people, and I don't know, maybe.
But it works.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's fun to lean into the comedy of it for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for everyone else to be able to see it as well. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks.
Hi, Jonathan Bloomberg, writing for MovieZine Sweden. I've seen the first 6 episodes of this second season, so really loving what I've seen so far.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm the one to say thanks. So after watching the first season, and I also had read that book before watching that. Now you've fully made this into like your own kind of show and are off book, so to speak. How much did you know that in this season, did you know before you got the green light that you really wanted to do? Because I know there were discussions about making a second season even before you knew that was going to happen.
I feel like the one thing that we definitely talked about when we were wrapping season 1 and then all through sort of the release was if we were going to do a second season, we needed to kind of pick up Cassie's journey of sobriety because it's not as easy as I have one day and here's my white chip and then the series is over. It's a lot harder than that. And it requires a lot more work. So that was the thing that we knew that we were going to tackle emotionally. And then we had a whole bunch of hanging threads like the CIA, Megan on the run. What about Annie and her like criminal history to kind of pull from. And then Natalie came on board and the two of us really went deep on kind of this concept of doubles and accepting yourself. And that really kind of launched us into the second season.
Yeah. So I don't want to spoil anything, of course, but I really love the 5th episode. It's a really good one, and I'm wondering how you think about balancing the show with the dark humor and also the heavy drama, and how where you put the things during the season to make the most of it, I guess. How did those discussions go?
Natalie, you want to field this one?
Oh, well, Steve wrote 205, which is really one of our favorites. And I mean, I think he set the tone in season 1 between these moments of really dark pathos and pain and the truth of that. And also just this wild comedy that you get from Kaley being such a fabulous physical comedian. And then, you know, Steve, I think, has this really dark sense of humor and the streaks of surrealism. And I think it's just something we're always aware of. We were always aware of in the writer's room to kind of, you know, make sure and balance those two things. And I think it's something that comes very naturally from Steve's voice, honestly, and combination with Kaley as just a natural comedian.
And I'll just quickly add, I co-wrote the episode with Liz Segal, one of our writers and one of our co-executive producers. And she brought so much of the dark fun to that particular episode. I just wanted to say I appreciate everything Natalie just said, but it wasn't just me on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So Kaley is also a producer of the show. So we all get to see what she does with her acting. How much of a creative force is she behind the scenes that we don't get to see?
She's very involved. I mean, she's very much our lead producer. And so she's involved in script notes. She was involved in discussions about what the season would be about. She's completely in charge of everything that happens in terms of hair and costume and wardrobe and stuff for Cassie, working with the head of the costume department, working with makeup, working with hair to make sure that that's all right. And she has like a very, she likes to operate from her gut, and she just knows when something's going to work. And so we just kind of follow her lead.
All right. So a quick last question. Are there discussions for a third season as well?
You can take that one, Natalie.
Yes.
Yeah. So fingers crossed then. Thanks so much for your time, and I wish you best of luck with the premiere.
Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, they're all so cute.